Welcome to the We Can Do It Women TV show, and I'm your host, Debra Morrison. I am pleased to chat with Lynn Wong. Lynn, welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me, Debra.
Indeed. It's such a joy, and I know a little of your history, but our audience may not, so please tell us about your early years.
Thanks for asking. I was born and raised and educated in Singapore. Ooh. Multicultural, meritocratic, English as a first language, Singapore.
Okay.
It was, I'm the elder of two daughters in a, middle-class family. My parents were from Singapore. My dad's from Singapore. My mom grew up in Malaysia, met my dad when he worked abroad in Malaysia, and came back to Singapore to start a family.
Wow. So talk to us about how you pursued your jobs and so forth as you exited college, and what you were looking for in a career.
You know, all through college at the National University of Singapore, which is where I studied, where I majored in people watching, or sociology, more formally known, I had a passion for the arts. So I was constantly volunteering while also going to school. And I thought my career would be in the arts.
Yes.
You know, I love stage management. I love working with the crew, running around with tape. And so that really, really worried my parents. You know, they worked really hard to give my sis and I a great education. They were like, okay, can you please come out and be a teacher at least? You know, we don't know what you would do with sociology. But I did graduate college and did the dutiful thing to go to that career fair, you know, that they create for all college students around the world. Yeah. And I filled in a form. I didn't know then, but it was the world's largest shipping line at that point in history, in 2000. Filled a form, and they called me for an interview, took some tests, and gave me a job.
Shipping.
Yes.
Ooh. All right. And then did you raise up into management at that first company?
You know, it was a really special interview, and everyone's first job is special. Mine was extra special because they tested me. They tested my IQ. They tested a bunch of different things. They needed me to have a college degree, but they gave me a 4-year opportunity to move into management by working my way up, but it was a guided path. They paid the men and women equally. All you needed was a college degree. Your gender was not a limiting factor. And they put us through shipping school, put us through like etiquette school. And they basically said, if you do your job, do well in this school that we put you in, we'll give you an opportunity to work abroad. And I met those requirements and got a chance to come to America.
So you came as an expat. And talk to us about your first job in America, still with the shipping company. Mm-hmm. And then when did you exit and branch out?
Yeah, I got a chance to come to the U.S. and almost didn't take it. Ooh. You know, I watched a lot of TV and at that point, and, you know, there were just scary things that you watch on TV about what America is. And when I said yes to the job, I had never traveled to the U.S. before. I was well traveled. My parents, you know, were proponents of travel.
Yes.
But there was something about the ability to communicate in English, even though I had to learn how to drive on the other side of the road, that I was like, it's a good job with a good company. I would have to learn how to drive on the other side of the road. I can communicate in the language.
For sure.
So I'll be brave and I'll say yes. And 2003, I arrived in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, brave you were. And you have a rich corporate history. Can you just kind of tick off some of the companies that you worked with and then you rose to management positions?
Yeah, I've had a chance to grow my corporate career first in global shipping and then in global retail. So I got to work for a massive home improvement retailer, and then I got to work for the #1 retailer in the world, and all of these had global entities. So the teams just got bigger, and it just got more and more fun.
Well, I can imagine it was a lot of fun, and I can also imagine a lot of pressure. So talk to me about how you have found yourself evolving into the We Can Do It woman that you are, because you are so vibrant. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I am the beneficiary of mentors and sponsors that I met all through my career. Like I mentioned, the very specific guidance I got in the first 4 years of my career, I know now not everybody gets.
Okay.
You know, I had my fair share of learning how to make coffee if you come in early into the break room and being the last to leave. However, I had a lot of men help clear the way, role model for me, and teach me how to rise through the ranks, delivering results and delivering people's careers. You know, I had a chance to go from, you know, just being a junior member to being responsible for multi-million-dollar budgets, deliver multi-million-dollar results. And along the way, I experienced something called servant leadership. You know, it's not being a servant, but it's recognizing that you've got to lead from the front and the back, and you've got to know how to move people into places where they come live at work. No excuses, even at Fortune 1.
Even at Fortune 1. So a lot of women in the day would kind of cut the rings of the ladder out from under them when they rose to the top, and you just had to have been 4 times as good as a man to have the men even sponsor you. But you noticed something and were committed to doing something about it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I accomplished a lot of my professional goals, including working in the world's, you know, most advanced countries, including US and China, which I did get. You know, I'm happily married. I got to travel to 40 countries before 40 and all of that. And in 2019, I started to feel like, okay, I've got all those things accomplished. Something's missing.
Yes.
Right? And as I started to soak in the question and pay attention to, so what is missing? I realized that I am the beneficiary of mostly male sponsors and male coaches and male mentors.
Yeah.
So I was like, where are the women?
Where are the women?
And unfortunately, the few women leaders that I've worked with, they're far and few between, and it was complex and competitive.
Yes.
More importantly, I got to a point where I looked myself in the mirror and said, okay, so what are you going to do about it?
Oh, wow.
You know,
What a sense of responsibility. Congratulations.
yeah, it was about like, okay, so you've noticed that you are the beneficiary of men who never let your gender, your height, your race stand in the way. And you've noticed that there are not enough women doing the same. So what kind of action are you going to take? And for me, it became, well, I'm not going to, you know, hate on, you know, the memories of those complex relationships with the women that I worked with. I'm going to take responsibility to be one of the women that opens the way for women and men and really humans,
Yes.
regardless of where their gender identity rests. Because there's a light in each and every one of us. And I
Isn't that true?
love proximity to it.
Yeah, and you enlighten people. This is such empowered leadership. I want our audience to know that takes such courage and guts and humility. And I think that you possess all of that. So we're going to take a quick station break, hold on to our next thought, and stay right where you are because we've got a couple of very interesting facts about Lynn.
Let me introduce you to Debra Morrison. If you're a woman who thinks her best years are behind her, we're here to tell you your best chapter is just beginning. Join the We Can Do It Women Facebook group. It's more than a community, it's a revolution. Reclaim your dreams, master your finances, and unleash your potential. We're just getting started. Join now and let's make the rest of our lives the best of our lives. We can do it, women. Join us today.
Welcome back to the We Can Do It Women TV show, and I am so delighted to continue the conversation with Lynn Wong. So, Lynn, you've just talked with us about how you did not cut the ladder rungs from underneath where you had accelerated for other women, but rather you were giving so many women the opportunity to transform their lives. Tell us a couple of those stories.
Yeah, I can think of one person that I met as a young manager, and she deeply impressed me with how prepped she was for the interview. Not only had she read all about, you know, the team, the work, She read about us and just interviewed so well. I just kept on encouraging her, never gave her answers, just gave her space and as much air cover as I could, learning alongside her, learning with her, even though I was responsible for her.
Nice.
She has never forgotten how much I've just simply believed in her,
Absolutely.
right? Because we saw the business results and we saw her capability being recognized across the board.
Exactly.
She was doing her master's at that time and, just continued to be a rising star in her company while, growing a family. And she continues to be successful. We're still connected today. And it was all because she worked hard, but someone believed in her and created space. So, yeah.
Not just someone that had a corporate career in several major multinational corps. Yes, in high-level management positions. Congratulations. So you were inviting her to pay it forward, and she clearly has done so. Now, you then progressed and progressed and progressed and progressed and succeeded and succeeded and succeeded. And then what happened?
I started to realize I had fallen out of love or maybe finished loving
Yes.
the work I got to do in global shipping, retail, technology. And it wasn't a big secret, but it felt irresponsible to do more of what I loved, which was I really loved working with the people, to get the big multi-million-dollar results, but also watch how they grow in their careers and also then, which also has an effect on the people they love. And I had accidentally accumulated so much credibility and success in shipping and retail and logistics. It was difficult to find a parallel position.
Yes.
For the six-figure income I was making.
Exactly.
To do more of talent development, people development. And it started to kind of fester, inside.
Yeah. Yeah. So more is not always better in that trajectory. And so tell us what happened.
Yeah. It took a while to realize that I could have taken more responsibility earlier on, but it was, I was trapped. I was trapped in my first world problems, in responsibility. I can't just walk out from a job. There's freight to be moved. There's teams to be on. I can't just quit my job. I am part of a family unit, and so it's important. But what my mind refused to allow for, do more of what you love, my body
Spoke.
took over. My body had enough of the disrespect, and it shut me down.
Well, that's not a warning to us women overachievers in particular. I don't know what is. So how did you recover from that, Lynn?
Yeah, it took a powerful pause. A deliberate, intentional period of rest and regeneration with no smart goals.
There you go.
Work to recover my health. Maybe also be in community. And something also told me in between, go get on the yoga mat. And that was it. 3 things. No more, no less. Let the rest unfold.
Simple and saved your life, really. I mean, saved your wholeness. Exactly, right?
Yes.
And this level of people, I hope that you're getting the thread. I mean, from her college degree in Soch, this has just been so prevalent, and it's who I know you to be, completely in tune with people. So then how you pulled yourself out of that, and talk to us about your next chapter.
Yeah, that was incredible. I got real quiet, right? I had a very big life. I worked for Fortune 1. I worked in different countries. It was the first time I really got quiet and really focused on taking care of me first. I fought it, but my
I
body,
bet you did.
my body wasn't having any of it. I had a bald spot about the size of my fist, like right about here, before I took my sabbatical. And the day it happened, I was like, maybe I'm, just doing this action too much, as I'm staring at the computer. And I still didn't listen. All I did was flip my part so it wouldn't show. And it was a good 6 months before I actually, my body was like, you're not getting out of bed today. But yeah, I got real quiet, focused on my body, went to see the dermatologist. We talked about, alopecia as an autoimmune disease. And sometimes it takes me a while. In that case, it was 12 steroid injections to the bald spot.
Lynn. Wow.
To stay
Yes.
in the space to recover first my physical health.
Right.
And then to be in community, which is how we met.
Exactly.
And there was one magical conversation that happened during the sabbatical. Someone asked me, what are you going to do on the other side of the sabbatical, this resting?
Of course.
And I found myself saying, wow, I think I'm actually going to try to be a coach. I have no more logical, rational reasons to wait till this retirement age. I love working with people. I am the beneficiary of people who have worked with me. If not now, when?
Right.
And I'm the one I've been waiting for.
Oh, that's so rich. And you're the one that so many people have been waiting for, and they're just ecstatic that you made that jump into coaching. And I honor you as a coach. You have so many qualities that just lend themselves to listening people into speech, working with them, not hierarchically, and being in complete partnership. I commend you on that. So tell our viewers, how can they get in touch with you? Because I'm going to definitely want to coach with you.
Yeah. I'd love to connect with anyone who's curious if they're burning out or breaking through on lwcoaches.com.
lwcoaches.com. Burning out or breaking through. You see, we're not stopping with the burning out. No, we're breaking through as we can do it, women. And I so honor your having gleaned all through your childhood, going like, I'm not doing exactly what my parents are doing. I'm going to do some of my own thing. And then just catapulting up through the corporate realm. I congratulate you. And then looking back and seeing who else is getting yet to come and being the liaison and the coach. I honor that. We're going to take a quick station break and we're going to be right back. Thank you, Lynn. Welcome back to the We Can Do It Women TV show, and I'm talking with Lynn Wong, and I am so blessed to have you here and talking with us about your work with high achievers, being one yourself. And so your coaching business now has evolved into a space where you really have a waiting list. I mean, people need to fit, if you will, because your whole study of people and love of people is one that you're going to be the messenger for the right people. There are a lot of coaches, and yet you are a very unique coach and have wonderful qualities to up-level high achievers. So talk to us a little bit about that process and what they can find as a resource on your website, which we'll repeat now.
Yeah, it's LW Coaches.
lwcoaches.com. All right, tell us about it.
Yeah, so there's a starter kit on my website for anyone who's curious.
Yes.
Curious if their brain fog, their occasional, imposter syndrome feelings are normal, or if they're actually on the cusp of something new in their lives. So there's an assessment there that they can take, and if they feel compelled, there's a link to then schedule a call with me, and we'll have a conversation to see if we're a mutual fit. I believe in the power of coaching. I know I am a very good coach because I'm not everybody's coach.
That's it. That's it. Now, I know that high achievers kind of have this rugged individuals. I can do it. I can do it. I got this. I got this. But talk to us about some of the warning signs that may or may not be so obvious.
Yeah. Some of the symptoms include, last thing you do before bed is look at your email first thing in the morning before, you snuggle up to your pet or your spouse. You look at your email. You only sleep on the weekends. You try to sneak your work devices onto vacation, and you still have the occasional imposter syndrome vibes, despite years of practice and obvious recognition for your contribution.
Yeah.
Those are good signs to get checked.
Listen up, because why go through burnout? Lynn's been there. It wasn't pretty, and it doesn't have to be if you're attuned. And so talk to us about how you tease out of your clients where to start in addressing their overwhelm at being such high achievers and at such a significant cost.
Yeah, it's important to really rest. And I use that acronym to guide my memory. Sometimes it's easier, with an acronym.
Absolutely. So give it to us.
First and foremost, relax your body. Of course, recharge and all that, but relax your body. Then engage your spirit.
Yes.
Play, pray, engage your spirit and say no. It's the S. There are some things that you can say no, should say no to, and for your heart.
Yes.
And last but certainly not least, thank your mind.
Ooh.
In popular mainstream media, there's a lot where shut the mind down. No, your mind got you here. It's in our survival instincts. But you've got to thank it and say, I've got this.
Oh.
Time to rest. Relax the body.
Okay.
Relax the body, engage the spirit, say no for the heart, and thank the mind for getting you here today.
Amen. Amen. Now, you've gotten these certifications that are outstanding. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. I knew I was going to coach at some point in my life. When I got my first certification for my 40th birthday, it was a chunk of change. But
she did all this corporate before she was 40. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Keep on.
It was in New York City, and I got a chance to have the money to do my certification, to gain vocabulary, to tell people what they're good at. It's the CliftonStrengths, formerly known as StrengthsFinder vocabulary, for helping people embrace what's right about them, what's good about them.
Excuse me, she talks about this rapidly. Imagine having a coach that accentuates and says to you, this is what's great about you. Whew. Okay, it gives me chills. That is exactly what the world needs, and high achievers, of which you are one and continue to be. And yet you had the ability to say no. I commend you. All right, keep going. I don't mean to interrupt.
No, that was foundational, because I was in a room full of coaches who wanted the vocabulary of helping people embrace their strengths. And years later, as I made that formal decision that I was going to double down and become a coach, the high achiever, occasional overachiever in me then, of course, went off after other certifications.
Yes, of course.
Getting on the yoga mat meant that I committed to my practice and got a chance to train with teachers who taught me the art and the neuroscience of yoga. So I have my trauma-informed Vinyasa Yoga teacher training certificate, and recently became a national board certified health and wellness coach. And it's the leading organization that commits all its coaches to the practice of unconditional positive regard for their clients, to have the capacity and the resources to be guided back to whole health.
This is such a large vision and mission, Lynn. I so commend you for jumping into it with both feet and your whole body. And I want to hear just a couple stories about people that you've helped.
Yeah, I identify as a high achiever,
Of course.
and have to work to not overachieve to the extent of my health. So the clients I've gotten to work with are hands down all high achieving, whether it's in significant startups or large corporations. So, one of my clients, she's Canadian, and she had just come off a decade of building and selling a technology company with her partner, and was walking through this identity ambiguity, if you will, together with exhaustion.
Of course. Yes.
And in our work together, where we, commit to taking care of the body, the spirit, the heart, the mind in that order, she reconnected to her creativity. She used to not just only dance, in college performances. She led women's, dance groups. She's back to dancing salsa again. She is back in community, her community of choice, and lifting other young business entrepreneurs and building her next startup.
Taking care of herself, building up other women, and checking into her next future endeavor. This is powerful beyond words. And so just talk to us a little bit about how you define your being a We Can Do It woman.
Yeah, radical responsibility spoke to me. As I said before, it took burning out to break through, to realize that I have always been the one I've been waiting for. And when I make the choice, everything will follow.
She is the one she's been waiting for. And for more information, go to lwcoaches.com. Lynn, I can't thank you enough for sharing yourself. I hope you've been able to glean how passionate she is about people finding their essence, not having to burn out, and being their fullest selves in all of the facets. Thank you so much, Lynn. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me, Debra.